All right, and we're gonna do a take here. So go ahead whenever you're ready. Oh yeah, so pretty. Hey girl, how you doing? Late night, virtual, the Echo Show with Maui and friends, featuring the wonderful Stephanie Iverson and the enigmatic Ian Leith, and your host, the weirdo Maui Jones. Oh yeah.
Hello.
That was beautiful, Ian. What was that called?
That was called "When I First Kissed You," and it's written by Extreme of all people. Did you know?
Oh, I did not know. I was hoping it had like a wildly inappropriate title, like that scene.
I was gonna do the Spinal Tap joke, but
Like my love pump.
yeah, I didn't want to be too crude. What's it called? I want to see inside your butt. Have you seen that song? I wonder what's inside your butthole.
No.
Oh my god,
What is
I've
that?
not seen that.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, Maui. It's the cutest thing in the world, believe it or not.
I have to check it out. So, well, we're back. We're back from hiatus. We took a couple weeks off to recharge batteries, and we're back here the day after Mother's Day. It was like the Boxing Day of Mother's Day. So here we are, back after a couple weeks hiatus. Stephanie, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, how you been spending the hiatus? You been working on cooking up some lovely art, perhaps
yeah.
baking. I don't know.
Oh, lots of baking, theater baking, kitchen baking.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. We're gonna kind of talk about the reimagined season of Echo in this post COVID-19 world. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about that a little bit later. Ian, what about you? How you been?
Hey, man, you've actually inspired me with this whole live stream thing. So I've taken upon myself to start a couple shows because, it's a way to connect and it's a way to see my friends and introduce friends with each other. I like this idea of bringing two friends. It's like a dinner party almost.
Mm-hmm.
You bring two people together. You think, hey, we're gonna have a good conversation. So the past couple of weeks, I've had some pretty good conversations with family, friends, and friends who don't know each other, and just talking about this weird new life that we have right now.
Yeah. And so that's Hump Day Hang for y'all. There's a page on Facebook. Follow it, Hump Day Hang. I was a guest on it last week, I believe.
Yeah, one of the better ones.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Please check it out. It was a really good time. There's also Booze Day Tuesday, which I hop in co-host set sometimes with them. So check out both of those. There's also a Booze Day Tuesday Facebook page, so check those out. Yeah, they're great. So I had a couple things tonight. We did our virtual check-in with each other. That's cool. I like to always check in with people, see how they're doing. The main thing I wanted to talk about today was the local arts and music scene. So with everything being canceled for basically the year, right? So what's next then? What's the future of local arts and music? Like, how do we keep that from dying? Because we have all these wonderful artists, like local artists, like the music scene, the local music scene in Berwyn, I think is legendary. Right? Like there's this beautiful, just amazing music scene in Berwyn. We have these long-standing community theaters throughout the western suburbs. And they don't have a lot of money. All right, so what's next? How do we make sure that those things stay alive? And that's kind of like what I wanted to like explore today.
Well, I wouldn't be too quick to say that things are going to be canceled for the rest of the year. I'm sure like past a certain capacity, like the large events, possibly. But for example, baseball is already. I was reading that the major league is trying to figure out a way how they can play all the games, and they may not play in the normal stadiums because of capacity. They may not even have fans, but they're going to try to complete a season. So if they do that, then I could see other areas of entertainment. They're like, well, we can still do this, but on a really limited basis. Are you familiar with the artist Mark Rebillet?
Was that the gentleman we were talking about on your show?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was in. I saw a CNN article. He's going to do a brief drive-in movie theater tour. So he's going to play in these empty drive-in theaters. People will drive up, tune in like you're watching a movie. Tune in the radio to this channel. He's just one guy on a loop station. He's going to do beatboxing and rapping and singing. But that's one. Sort of alternative to a live music show is a drive-in music show. And there's
Interesting.
been
Yeah.
some events like that going on in Denmark that have been well received. And if they figure out how to do it hygienically and safely for everybody, there's another avenue that things are taking. And then so it's a matter of just coping, and figuring out on the way down the scale, like how do we as local musicians still
Right. But those events,
handle.
as they were pre-pandemic, right? So like now we have to reimagine how we interact with our audience, right?
Sure, it's not going to be the same show as we thought it would be in January.
Right.
It's going to be a different experience, and it's going to take a lot more effort and probably a lot less payoff. But you've got to keep the creative
Yeah.
force flowing. I think.
And I've been thinking about that as well, about the drive-in, right? Like, can we work with our local communities to create like a stage in a parking lot, and then people pull in, and then we have on a local radio station type in the audio so that we can do a concert series or a play, right? Is that possible, right? If you can have like small, if we can do small intimate plays with understudies, and we're diligent on taking their temperatures and everything and following all the safety protocols, like, can we reimagine theater that way? I don't know, but I think that'd be
A lot of people
interesting.
trying to figure that out too. So,
Yeah,
and we'll just kind of have to follow the lead of the ones with more of the means, I guess.
yeah, but
Locally speaking, though, I think that you're right. We do have a lot of creatives in this town. Between the Western Chicago, Chicago in general, but then even more specifically in this western suburban area of.
yeah, I think the Berwyn music scene is something truly unique and special.
Yeah, we have the venues. We have tons of talent that are close by, so it's not a huge distance to go. I mean, there's practically blocks of neighborhoods in the Oak Park Berwyn area where musicians are a stone's throw away from each other. So I could totally see block parties. That's another thing I was wondering about. Like if block parties are allowed to happen this year, but like socially responsible, safe distance block parties, I could see a band getting hired to do something like that, and maybe they live stream that so that it's a wider audience, or maybe you have an improv troupe or stage a play, whatever you want to do to provide that entertainment. There's a lot of options on the table right now, because honestly I feel people are going to be seriously starved for the entertainment that we took for granted before.
Yeah, absolutely. So Stephanie, your group, Reverb, the Echo Ensemble, y'all recently came up with this pretty cool idea. You want to talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's an interesting route, and I do think the digital stage is going to be our biggest pipeline to our audiences right now. So can you talk a little bit about the Bake Off?
Yeah, so Reverb, our Echoes in-house ensemble, has been gathering together virtually and over email, and one of our members came to us with this wonderful idea that he had done before, called a bake-off. And in a bake-off, all the members that are participating contributed an ingredient, which could be anything from like an object to an idea to a feeling. We had like peanut, the first day of spring. Someone's was just the quote, "Elementary, my dear Watson." So we took one ingredient from all of us, we tossed it all together, and then we went our separate ways for 2 weeks to write and find whatever we could, um, and incorporate these ingredients, or as many ingredients as we can. And what came out is like has blown me away. We have such a wonderful array, poems, jokes, monologues, scenes, one acts of written by our members. And now we've started the rehearsal process, which is, of course, all over virtual. But it's going smoothly so far. And in a few weeks, we will be putting that up here on the Echo page, our own written and found work, which is something we haven't even achieved in person. So this is very exciting for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you saw, I just had that graphic up of so that's our graphic for the Bake Off, the Great Reverb Bake Off, a little takeoff of the Great British Baking Show, so which was originally called the Great British Bake Off, and then they changed the name for some reason. So, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. That is our call for submissions. We're taking one acts, anything from 10 minutes long to an hour long, that is written exclusively to be put on a virtual stage like we are at here now. And like, because that's the only way we can consume theater right now, so why not kind of take advantage of it? So yeah, until the 22nd of this month, we are taking submissions. You can find the form on our Facebook page to fill out if you're interested. And then we're going to select a few winners. We're going to cast the shows, put them up, have a talk back, and then we'll host a second one in next month. And yeah, that's just really exciting because that's not something we would have even thought of if this hadn't happened. And it goes to show that good and new and exciting things can come out of kind of crappy times like now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And then Ian, you just this morning, so we're talking about like how does, and this is the root of what I'm getting to, how art and theater survive times like this is community, right? Like community is what keeps it going. So as Sophie said, like reaching out to local people to submit art to what we're doing. Ian, you did a slightly different thing, but I think it kind of is on a similar track and a similar theme of art surviving through community. Can you tell our audience what you did this morning?
So this morning, I did what very few musicians do. I got up at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning. And I went to Erin Mitchell, who runs the Out of Space in Berwyn. Was working with her name, a lady's name Fabiola. I guess she was something to do at McNeil Hospital. But they set up a little area for me to perform for the arriving and departing medical staff there at McNeil, as just sort of a thank you, morale boosting. Hey, we see you kind of event. Little tribute to the heroes of the situation, people that are working their asses off right now. So trying to do their part so that we can get back to life is somewhat normal, I guess. And so it felt good to feel a little normal. It was my first time playing a show in 2 months, so it felt good to be we did everything properly distanced. I brought my own microphone. I performed some songs for the people arriving, and tried to just kind of tip the hat there to them. And I hope that there's more opportunities like this. I think that it's not the same live streaming your shows. You want to have that connection. You want to be able to see someone eye to eye and really I think that's the way live music is best experienced.
Do you think that Or did you like notice people like stopping to listen?
Oh,
Or
It
yeah,
was, it was on a part where it was on by the sidewalk, and there was a street, a one-way street. So a lot of people did even stopped and like took it in for a second. A lot of people were like, I think it was maybe people didn't realize it. Whoa, I haven't seen this in a long time. I'm gonna stop and take some pictures of this because there was a lot. I got a lot of lookers and got a lot of looks, got a lot of camera. Hopefully, there's some. If anybody filmed or took pictures today, share that up because
yeah, that'd be dope. I'd love to
like,
see some of that.
see how it looked from the other side. But yeah, there was a lot of people stopping to take it in. They couldn't. Everybody's running to or from work, so I didn't expect them to like hang out all day. But it was nice to see that there was some appreciation. And what's cool is where I was playing, my back was to probably a 5-story building there at McNeil, and the windows would open and I'd hear some applause coming from the people that were at their workstations, I guess, inside.
That's
I
awesome.
heard a couple, "We love you," and I'm like,
That's awesome. You get any like Slayer, like
no requests. Luckily.
do Freebird. You're like, oh come on. Laura Rodriguez says hello, Maui and friends. Hello, Laura. Good to see you. And Virginia said her hair is learning. I don't know. I don't quite know what that means, but sounds interesting. Yeah, sounds interesting.
Ascension.
Yeah, ascension hair. That's interesting.
Can I ask Stephanie what's up with the Mercury wings there? I like
Mercury
those.
wings. I'm uncultured.
Isn't that Mercury who has the
Yeah,
Greek god?
Mercury
Oh, yeah.
or Hermes, depending on Greek or Roman, I believe.
This is a hat that I got for a Supernatural parody from my favorite YouTubers, and it just feels like an extension of my personality now. So
Maybe I was trying to make them flap.
So
Nice.
Okay, so like what other stuff would you want to do then? Like the both of you as performers, like what other ways do you see like? Because like I'm thinking like I love the Fitzgeralds, like hop on the back of a truck and drive around town and just playing music for people. For instance, I love your idea of a block party too, but right but maybe you can say like, well, this is a little concert for this block. We're gonna do like a 20-minute set, and we're gonna do like 10 blocks throughout the day, right? And only it's the people on that block can come out, and like those families can be on their lawn, right? So to keep people distant, right? You stay on your property or on your porch, and you listen to the music for a 20-30 minute thing. I'm thinking about doing that with like our Hedwig performers, right? Like what if they do like a 30-minute like mini set of songs from Hedwig, and maybe a couple like choice like scenes or monologues from it, or get a couple people to do some selected works from Porgy and Bess or Fiddler on the Roof, or like sky's the limit with stuff like that. I think that's a really interesting thing that we can adapt. So what other kind of stuff would you want to do through this?
I'll let Stephanie go first.
Okay.
through specifically,
'Cause that's a big question.
It's a big question. It's a big question.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
That's a good
tough.
question, Laura.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm really excited to see some of the one acts that are written exclusively for this kind of venue. Because they're all gonna be so new and fresh,
Mm-hmm.
and extending to that, anything written exclusively for something like this, whether it be music or theater or poems or anything that makes it feel like the box is more natural, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that opens up a connection to the audience, because we're all kind of stuck in these boxes right now.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's very different from the connection you get with a live audience, it's something.
Yeah.
We also have to allow that information may change very rapidly. We don't know what's going to happen, what tomorrow's going to bring, what the doctors, what the authorities are going to say, what ground we gain, what tests become more available, so that because we can't live this way forever. We know that. We know it's going to end. It's got to end somehow. We don't want to rush it, but we also don't want to rule it out as like something to look forward and plan for. So I believe that the digital thing is going to be a primary tool for artists, because as you're basically, if you're going to be doing such small scale things where people can't really gather, you're more or less like an exhibit,
Yeah.
Like when you're traveling on a truck, you're not really doing a show. You're doing little shows for everybody. You feasibly could do the same song for blocks and no one would know because you're just playing a little short set here, a little short set there. And as far as like getting a group of people together in one place, that we'll just see how it comes out, how it occurs in phases. Because honestly speaking, there's already states that are like pretty much wide open.
Yeah.
And I hope, I really hope that they're not doing it too soon. I really don't want people to get sick. I fear that there will be. But Missouri, there's already bands playing in bars. And there's, I don't think Iowa even locked up really. So all these issues, we got to remember this is kind of, this is a deal that we're going through as Chicago, as New York, as the metropolitan areas are where obviously there is more
Dense
the artistic
population.
community and entertainment as a business exists. So it's kind of like I'm watching these other places to see what happens because this is my livelihood, but again I don't want to rush us into a dangerous situation.
Yeah. So we have a couple comments here. Laura said, "Will there be music at the farmers market?"
Yeah, there's many ideas floating around. We just don't know what's going to work because even if we did open up, there will still be apprehension of people who don't feel comfortable going out yet, and then the considerations of where will they pee.
Right.
We funnel the crowd in,
Oh, I think we just lost Ian.
He was breaking up.
He was breaking up a little bit there at the end. Well, hopefully he can pop back in a minute. Laura Rodriguez said, "Will there be music at the farmers market?" I think that's a great question because they are doing the farmers market, I believe, in Oak Park. I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work. That could be another place to perform, right? Reach out to the local farmers markets and see if we can, if you can, set up one or two people there to do some, some live theater.
Yeah, any kind of place where things filter where like people filter through.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Your mom just waved.
Hi, Mom.
Maura said, this is interesting. Maura, her group has been doing improv on Zoom. That's kind of cool. I wonder how that works. It sounds like it's a little awkward, but it is getting better. So that's cool. And then Laura saying the porch music series type of entertainment. Yeah, I think that, as we open up a little bit more, I think the porch music type of entertainment will be good. And actually one of our board members, Cheryl Wisniewski, started the porch concerts that they do in the summers in Oak Park, which is great. We have Ian back. Hey, Ian.
Are you there?
I think he's there. In theory, he's there. So yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting opportunities to do these things
and get creative with it and find new things that perhaps will carry forward into a world when we go relatively back to normal.
Yeah. Someone told me the story about two people that kind of like have fallen in love during quarantine and they can't actually like go out on a date necessarily, but like they were like across the street from each other and they were dancing and and I guess so that, but just hearing that basic setup gave me the idea of writing a story about, like love in the time of Corona or something like that, right? And then you see two people meet, and then start talking to each other, like in this medium, right? In two different windows, just seeing people, that conversation of getting to know each other, that excitement of a new relationship happening, but even further removed, because like usually there's like some sort of like, you know, physical chemistry there, and it's the anticipation of being able to kiss somebody. But when you take that away,
Yeah.
right, and so you're seeing this connection. I think that would be really interesting. So I was
Yeah.
thinking
Oh
about
my
writing a
God.
one act for that.
Wow. Ooh, count me
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool, right? To do that, because it also then brings in a question of, you know, of deconstructing intimacy and what that means, right? Because I think often we just simplify it to intimacy to sex, right? But like the one act that we're doing that Jonathan wrote for the Bake Off, right, is this like extremely like, you know, beautiful love story, but it's not a sexual love story. It's a friendship love story. I think that's an interesting thing to explore, and to see two people connecting on that level, but
Yeah.
with the physical part removed. I think is a refreshing kind of take on that like romantic comedy.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Ian, are you back? Or are you still in still frame?
Ooh, he's so
He's still
serious looking.
he's so serious looking. I was hoping he could do a song for us, but I think he's having major connection issues. Sadly, you're also like a long distance online relationship. Yeah, it'd be like that, except you're seeing it actually happen, and you can even start with them like if they're like on Messenger but not video chatting, and you can like and they're typing but they're saying it out loud, and then you can hear them like, oh wait, no, that's gonna sound stupid, or like, you know, erasing
Yeah.
it, right? Like play that out visually. I think that could be
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, you want to write it with me?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, well, let's do it. I've been writing a lot lately.
Good.
Yeah. So, well, while Ian is frozen, I think this would be a good time for me to talk about the reimagined season. So our season was originally. Let me. Do I have the? I don't know if I have the graphic up. Let me see. I can download the graphic real quick while we're talking here on my Canva account. My sweet, sweet Canva account. It's awesome. I
Oh,
love
thank you.
Canva. I absolutely love Canva. Here it is. So let's download this so I can bring it up on the screen here. So originally our season was connection, right? So we were exploring themes of connection, which is funny because now we cannot physically connect with each other.
You?
And so, but that's still our season, but we've kind of reimagined it from connection to virtual connections, right? So we have virtual connections as our reimagined season, and you've heard some of the offerings already, right? So you've heard about the great Reverb Bake Off, and you've heard about Echo Submit. We have a few other things that we are doing as well, and I'll pull them up here. Stephanie sent me the blurbs
The
early this morning. So obviously we have the Echo Show, all right, where we just kind of interview people and or have free form conversations. Sometimes we'll have like a live cooking demo. I'm gonna actually get Chef Ashley back to do another cooking demo because that was a lot of fun. I'll try and get that either this week or next week. I'm gonna reach out to her. We have Echo Submit. So once again, so that's from now until May 22nd. We're taking submissions for one act plays written or adapted exclusively for the virtual venues. So think like the love story I was talking about, or perhaps a funny Zoom conversation between two coworkers, stuff like that, right? So like writing exclusively
Office
for the
meetings.
virtual stage. Yeah, office meetings, right? I think that's one of the Bake Off things, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we have Echo Submit, Reverb Bake Off. Echo Piece Theater is our ongoing live theatrical virtual experience. We've done a couple so far. We did Black Prometheus, and then we also did Franklin. We're going to have more. I think our next Echo Piece Theater will probably be the Bake Off. So the Bake Off will happen on there. We will do more things like that. More like one act and full length plays for the virtual stage, which is really cool. Franklin was only streaming for 24 hours. That was the rights agreement for that one. But if you know, ask those that saw it, it was pretty cool. You know, scene changes, like props being passed from window to window.
Mm-hmm.
It was really impressive what our group did with that. Black Prometheus did, you know, same. We casted a lot of great stuff. It's really cool, especially Black Prometheus, because Black Prometheus was about these virtual simulations, and so it really lent itself to this format, which is
Yeah.
why I picked it.
There's also something really interesting now that we are kind of doing a virtual season. The turnaround time for our productions increases, like it's so much faster now because um, we don't always have to memorize our things. We can have them up on the screen, and it feels really natural to look at it and still keep our focus. And just little things like that. We just submitted our Bake Off stuff a couple weeks ago, and we're already like, okay, most of us are ready to put it up because the turnaround time is so much faster. We get the rehearsals in and the directing done, and then it's like we're ready to go up. We don't have to build a set. We don't necessarily have to find props. It's kind of an advantage almost. We can almost just put up more content.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We have a lot of stuff planned. Becca just hopped in the chat. Hi, Becca. Becca, if you want, I can send you a link. If you want to hop in, you could talk a little bit about doing Franklin. We still got a bit of time here, so I'd be more than happy to bring you into the chat if you'd like. Let me know in the comments if you want to hop in. Then also another thing, I have not announced this publicly yet, so this is like a new, you know, this is breaking, you know, Echo Theater news. We are in the very, very early planning stages of doing an all-day theater and music festival. And we are talking with all of the local theater, community theater companies, North Riverside, so on and so forth, about this through the West Suburban Theater Connection, this wonderful group that connects all of these disparate community theater companies together, right? So that we share knowledge and resources and whatnot with each other. And we're going to do a virtual all-day theater and arts festival to raise money for our struggling artists and gig industry community members they're devastated by this. We are an arts community, and we want to give back to our arts community. And so that's going to be really exciting. There's going to be more news on that. But it's going to be an all-day event. We're going to have a schedule put up. There'll be slots for the, you know, so you can follow your various. Oh, I love going to see North Riverside Players. They're going to be up at this time. Awesome. I'm going to go check them out. You know, you can do that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we're working on that now. Becca, I'm going to send you the link right now.
I already sent it to her.
Oh, did you already send her the link? Steph, you already sent her the link?
Yep, way ahead of you.
Oh, you're awesome. Hey. Oh, look at that. We got a Becca. Bringing in Becca. I'll take down this right now. Hey, Becca.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello. So, yeah, we were just talking about Franklin. I'd love if you could just tell people a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was a really great experience. We put it up in about 2 weeks from our first read through, and then I broke down the script like I would any script as a director, and we just had scheduled rehearsals and put it all together. It was, hi Maura. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun to put together, and we had to be a little creative with how we handled props and stage violence, because we're working on computer screens rather than in person. But that just made it more fun.
Absolutely. And it was a full-length 2-act play.
Oh, yeah.
All right, with, you know, tons of scene changes, and it's funny because the unpredictability of live theater physically, the exact same virtually. We had moments where we didn't know if people were going to make their cue, and you know,
Yes.
connection issues. It was crazy, but like physical theater, it all worked out in the end. So
It was awesome.
yeah, my mom just said nice. I think she's saying that to the festival. Hi, Mom. I'd love to bring you in, but you don't have any devices that can do StreamYard. I'd love to bring my mom onto the show as a guest, but we have to figure out her computer sitch. So so yeah, so Becca is a local director and tech person in community theater and local theater. I'd love to get your thoughts on kind of what's next for the theater and music industry, local theater and music industry.
It's definitely a challenge. I think people are, even if the theaters are allowed to open and have performances and all that, I think people are going to be very hesitant to go and to attend. So I think this year is going to have to be a combination of online opportunities and in-person opportunities where safety allows. Obviously, the individual theaters that have spaces are going to have to be considerate of cleanliness, and do they have concession stands? Do they offer people gloves, or do they have masks available for patrons who need masks? What are the things to consider in that respect as far as a theater location that needs to provide safety, or at least should provide some sort of opportunity. I think there's some level of responsibility for the individual as well as the host of the event.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I think all theaters need to be considering what they're doing to prepare, and then also what they can manage. Maybe a normal season would have 5 shows. Maybe you don't have all 5 shows this season. Maybe you have to cut it down to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Because of the demands required, both in having rehearsals, because the rehearsal process, you have to think about that. Are people willing to get close to each other?
Yeah, for me, it's also, I think the other question, the further thing, because one of the nice things to come out of this is realizing how inaccessible our art is for certain people. And so being able to do this digitally opens up this whole new world of accessible art. Now people are instantly trying to figure out how to monetize it, right? Right, of course, because everything we do is powered.
We're small businesses. We need to save ourselves in that respect.
And I absolutely get it, but like once money comes into play, right? Then it becomes, but that becomes then a layer of inaccessibility. One of the cool things is that like everything that we've done so far has been free. So, and speaking on that, going forward, everything that we're doing as Echo Theater Collective, as Reverb, what we're going to do is adopt a pay what you can model. Everything will be completely free. But we will give here's a suggested donation for this. If you can give us a suggested donation, awesome. If you can only give $1, that's cool too. If you have nothing to give, that's fine. Just watch the show and enjoy it. That's kind of how we're handling it right now. And I know that doesn't work for everybody. There are people with much larger overhead than us. But for me, the more accessible we can make the art, the more hearts we can touch, the more minds we can reach, right? And so that's a big one. That's a big deal for me personally.
Yeah, a lot of places. So like my parents, I was talking to them the other day. They're in Philadelphia, and they have all these theaters that are reaching out to them. Come, watch our virtual play and watch our virtual concert. It's only $20 a ticket, and it's like if you were in person, $20 is a good deal. But online, no one's going to pay $20 to see a show.
Right.
Everything's free right now. So it's going to be a real challenge to get those funds.
And the overhead is completely different, right? Like
exactly.
it's so much lower cost. Now, that $20 price point is representative of the money they've invested in their physical shows that they had to cancel, most likely, I would assume. So in this model, right? So like, we could also do, I think another thing you could possibly do is a subscription model, like do what the streaming services do, right? Like commit to like a few bucks a month, and then you have access to all of our, streams. It's
Oh yeah,
something
like
that.
Patreon. Patreon
Yeah, like-
has good stuff like that.
Or a Patreon. Like I'm committed to a few different Patreons. Movie Trivia Schmodown. I'll give them a shout out. It's awesome. It's a mixture of movie trivia, and like kayfabe, like wrestling, like professional wrestling, like storylines and stuff like that. It's insane, and I love it. I'm like completely obsessed with it. I'm explaining about this virtual show that I watched called the Movie Trivia Schmodown. And it's these local, or not local, California based for the most part, like film and TV pundits, like YouTube pundits, like people from like Screen Junkies or Collider and things like that, and then they battle each other in movie trivia. And there's like
It's
3
right up your
rounds.
alley, huh?
It's flipping awesome. I love it, and we're actually gonna do our own version of it. I'm gonna get a few of you to go head to head, because everybody kept complaining when I did trivia because of lag, and I'm like, this is free and it's just to have a good laugh, so who cares? But like, so many people kept complaining, I just stopped doing it. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'll invite 2 people on, or 3 people on, and then they'll go head to head against each other, and I'll ask questions, and you hold up like a whiteboard or like a piece of
Yeah.
paper with your answers on it.
It may not be a buzzer type scenario.
Right. So you have to write your answer down, and then you have to show it at the same time as you say your answer into your microphone, so that we know that you're not just repeating what someone else just said.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's kind of how they do it on the Schmodown. But like, it started off as this like silly little thing they did in between segments on AfterBuzz, I think they were on at the time, and now it's like its own dedicated show with a huge Patreon and this amazing community, and I think they just announced today that Kevin Smith joined one of the teams, because they have to do it virtual now. They were doing it in a studio, but now they're doing it virtual. So Kevin Smith, Chris Jericho just announced that he's joining the Movie Trivia Schmodown. The wrestler. It's crazy. It's insane. And I'm like, and like, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm just as invested in that as I am into watching a Netflix show or watching like a sports game. Like, Kate will be like, Kate will go, ah! And she's like, what? I'm like, somebody got the Jurassic Park question right. I'm so happy. Like, it's hilarious.
So it's a live thing. Obviously.
They do it live, but they have like Patreon, so you can get like exclusive, like Patreon only matches that you can watch.
Yeah, you get special content.
They travel the country, or at least they were before the COVID. Actually, last year for my birthday, I went and saw one of their live shows. It was the largest live show they'd ever had, and I was like on cloud 9 with it. It was freaking awesome.
Aw.
So yeah, so stuff like that,
Do you
right?
think
Like,
it'll
just
be something that eventually makes it to a network? Like, is it something you think is on the radar to get picked up like that?
That's a
on
good-
that scale?
That's a good question. So right before Shelter in Place, they were about to have this huge article on ESPN, on the ESPN website about the Schmodown. And yeah, I was freaking out, because I was just like, what? This is huge for them. And like, I think that had this not happened, that probably would have like rocketed them into a whole nother like tier,
Yeah.
probably up to like close to esport, like right under esport level. It's fun because like there's all these fun little storylines and characters and stuff, but they have to back it up with actual knowledge of like movies, right? So like, it's great. There's this one guy he used to call himself the Professor, and then he kept like almost getting to like championship level and then getting beat, and so then he switched his character, and then he became the delinquent, so now he's just given up on life, and he wears flannels and drinks beer. It's
Did
hilarious.
You watch that show? Was it called Beat the Geeks?
Yeah, I watched that show. Yeah.
Do you remember the guy that had like the Elvis-y haircut? I forget.
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah,
that?
I remember him. Yeah.
I played a show with that guy in L.A.
Really?
Yeah, he was. It was right after, I guess, Beat the Geeks, and he was part of an improv troupe, and they had me as a guest musician one time.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I know you. I don't know where I know you, but I know you. You know. And then, he said, yeah, I'm the king of TV. I think he called himself.
Okay.
And, like Pee Wee's Playhouse, like. So I said, I did challenge him though. I said, what was the name of the band that wrecked the studio in WKRP? Do you know that one?
Ooh, I don't. That's a deep cut question. I have no idea.
Scum of the Earth was the name of the band.
Okay.
And he knew it, so I was like, all right, respect. You do know it. You know, but
I can give you
that seems something right up your alley too.
that. Oh man, I love that. WKRP has one of my more favorite TV theme songs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've decided. I'm gonna try. So I have a friend who's completely obsessed with the Golden Girls, and I happen to know the woman that sings the theme song to Golden Girls.
Your
And
biggest
so,
fan.
like, well, my hope is that I can get her to like do like a Skype and like for a happy birthday, like
Aw.
sing the Golden Girls theme song to her. I'm gonna try and surprise her with that, unless she listens to the stream, but I don't think she
That's
will.
hot right now. Have you seen the people who sing along with it?
Yeah, do you see that one video that black dude? Yeah, that's,
Oh, here's my part right here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good, and like that's me. Like when I hear that song, because that song slaps, man. That song slaps. I'm just saying.
There was a quarantine version of the Golden Girls also. It's like some drag queens. You
What?
see that?
No.
I'll find the link. I'll send it to you. It's awesome.
Oh, I like that. All right. Ooh, let's do an impromptu game. Okay. It's me versus Ian. Becca, you're the host. Okay.
Uh-oh.
You give us the name of a TV show, and we have to sing the theme song. It has to be from like the 70s or 80s because we're old.
I'm the studio
That's
audience.
You're the studio audience.
But I don't know it.
Just,
I
you don't
don't
have to know the name of the theme song. We have to, or you don't have to know the theme song. You just need to give us the name of a show and see if we know it.
Answer.
You
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Jeffersons.
Who's that
Put
to?
on up.
Oh, it's Ian, I guess.
I don't know. Oh, we're
No,
gonna
it's
go
a
back and forth.
contest.
Oh, whoever sings it first. Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
he got that one. All right,
The
give it.
lag, but the lag. I don't want nobody complaining about lag.
There's no lag. There's no lag. Whatever. All right,
Okay.
give us another one, Becca.
let you take
The
it.
original Hawaii Five-O.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum,
drum
bum,
solo.
bum. That's so good.
Okay. Designing Women.
I should know this. I'm so mad at myself. Right now.
Oh, it's Georgia, isn't it? Wasn't it Georgia? Georgia.
Was it Georgia?
I don't know if it was the Ray Charles version, but I want to say that it was Georgia. It was like an instrumental version.
That's gonna bug me.
Sounds good enough. Woo!
Stephanie's the judge. She says it counts.
God, that reminds me of Monday nights.
The Sugar
doing my
Bakers.
homework and just watching
Matlock.
Matlock, man, you were throwing some curveballs.
Never watched Matlock. Couldn't
I
tell
watched
you.
Matlock. That was with Andy Griffith, man. I have nothing on Matlock.
Okay.
I swear I'm good at TV theme songs.
Mhm. Mhm.
No one ever says do Matlock. That was a deep cut, which is good. That's
Matlock.
good. That challenges me to up my game.
Okay. Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, they both got it.
That was even less good.
Going to the fishing hole.
Yeah. All right. One more. This one's for 1,000,000 points.
Ooh,
And Lord of the Universe.
And Lord of the
That's gonna be
Universe.
really hard.
high stakes.
I don't know. Now it's like,
Comment if you have a suggestion.
All right. Yeah. Just put it in the comments, y'all. Give us a
okay,
TV
I've got
theme
one,
song.
but it's
Anybody
not.
watching
It's
this
not.
show?
It's not a common one. Hey, dude.
Oh, hey, dude. I know Hey Dude.
Nickelodeon?
Hey Dude was like a Western one. It was instrumental. I don't know if there was words. I can give you Salute Your Shorts.
There were words.
There were words. I don't remember the words to salute to Hey Dude, but I remember the words to
Rock.
salute your shorts.
I remember.
Okay.
Camp on Awana, we hold you in your hearts, and when we think about you, it makes me want to fart. It's I hope we never part. Now sing it right or pay the price.
Good job.
If you did like 90s, early 2000 Nickelodeon shows, I bet you I could do that.
Like,
Got one for you.
okay, what do you got?
Ian.
Is there props? Ooh,
Just learned it.
Ooh.
he just learned this one. Doug.
Rugrats.
Rugrats.
Rugrats. No, you're right. It's Rugrats.
Uh huh.
I almost learned it.
It's a bop.
That slaps. Do you know Doug? That's do 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 do.
Yeah. Mora gave a show in the comments.
Cop Rock. Nobody knows Cop Rock. I feel like we've had this conversation before too.
Did that have one song? I remember watching an episode, and that was like the musical TV show. You guys remember? Do you remember, Maui?
Oh, I know of it. I've never actually
It was like
seen it.
NYPD Blue meets The Sound of Music.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I've heard about it. It's legendary.
So there's a new
Because it's
show that
unnatural
came on
concept.
Amazon Prime recently called Upload.
Oh,
Has
I
anyone
I
remember
want to
seen it
watch
yet?
about
that. It
that.
looks amazing.
Is it good, Becca?
It is so good. It's called Upload. It's about the afterlife, but it's technology.
Ooh,
It's so good.
that sounds
My
awesome.
friend's
It's
in
been
that
like
show.
over
For
Avatar.
real?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
What?
my friend Matt Bronger
Is in the show.
is in the show.
He's
he
in
was
it?
He was
Wow.
in the preview of the show. He's kind of a goofy looking guy that is in a balcony next door in the trailer and just says hi. Something about a dog. But
Oh, okay.
Is he a comedian?
he is a comedian.
Cool.
I think I've seen him and stuff.
We'll
I
have to
think
watch
he's
it.
had bit parts. He works with Conan O'Brien a lot as like just random guy in the crowd that all of a sudden gets.
Yes, that's it.
He's a familiar face. He's
Yeah.
on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yo, he was in Mad TV. Yeah, oh, come on, man. That's awesome. That is
Yeah,
cool.
He's been grinding for a long time. I'm glad to see him like still hustling. I know his wife better, but he's a friend from when I used to live in L.A.
He's a friend from work. That's from Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. You watch an upload. That's a good. I got to check that out.
Yeah, I gotta check that out too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it after we're
Is
done
that
with
on
Brooklyn
Amazon?
Nine-Nine.
It's on Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon Prime, yeah. Yeah.
I've been watching on Netflix this Canadian show called Working Moms, and it was created and mostly written by Catherine Reitman, Ivan Reitman's daughter. And it is so good. I laugh, I cry. Oh, it's so good. And it's just about a bunch of like moms that are trying to balance being mothers and also like having careers, and they're like these amazing, beautiful train wrecks, but they they defy like the patriarchy telling them to just like be moms. It's really, really good. And like she even like one episode she like was going to bed and she was wearing a Stripes shirt, which is awesome because her dad directed Stripes, Ivan Reitman, which made me very happy. I was like, oh, I get it. Your mother, I love that your parents are always in the chat whenever we do a show because like they're always like commenting on you. Clearly, I need to introduce my daughter to more old shows. You just introduce your daughter to more shows. She knows like
She knows.
5 shows.
She knows I'm a lost cause. I hyperfixate on like one thing a year for every 5 years. And I know a lot about that one thing. Ask me about The Haunting of Hill House. I love it.
I couldn't ask you a question if I wanted to because I don't know anything about it.
Well, you need to watch it.
That's scary.
You didn't
It
see
is
that
very
one, Maui?
scary.
It's a good one.
I didn't see it.
You into
I don't
scary
watch a
stuff?
lot of horror. I used to, but I don't really anymore. Unless Jordan Peele made it. So
That was what my monologue in The Last Cabaret was from.
I know. I remember. I remember things.
Well, aren't you special?
Aren't you special? Are we having a Cold War? Are we doing this?
Oh.
Dude, your mom is in the... Oh, my mom is in the...
There, Maui.
My mom was in the chat. My mom's probably not in the chat anymore, though. Well, as soon as I say that, she's like, yes, I am, son. Whatever, Mom. Leave me alone.
Always lurking.
Like,
Yeah, always lurking.
Lurking. Always lurking.
All right, I want to do one more TV theme song. All right. All right, let's see how much I can remember this. This time, nothing's going to stand in our way. No? Nothing?
Perfect Strangers?
Perfect Strangers. There you go.
Oh.
That's the beginning. The chorus, the part that everybody knows is standing tall on the wings of our dreams. That's
See, it's funny what
so
stuff
good.
is just not in syndication. You know, like we take a lot of these shows for granted now.
it's
I believe
bullshit.
Perfect Strangers was off the air before Stephanie and Becca were born.
Probably.
Which one?
Perfect Strangers.
Oh God, no! I grew up on that. I'm fine.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Because Mark Lynn Baker is a national treasure. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, he starred in A Year with Frog and Toad on Broadway.
Really? Ooh,
Yep.
interesting.
It was amazing.
So there was this weird storyline, and I haven't actually watched the show. It's on my list of things to watch. But on The Leftovers, there's this weird thread about Mark Lynn Baker being one of the people that was taken. But I guess he wasn't really taken. He just went into hiding after like.
Taken?
And so in The Leftovers, like, there's a percentage of people that just disappear one day, and nobody knows what happened to them.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of sends the world into this like depression spiral. But like there's this weird ongoing thing with Mark Lynn Baker being like Mark Lynn Baker from Perfect Strangers being one of the people that was taken. But then I think one of the characters finds him in like the third season, and he's just like living a reclusive life. It's really weird. But like that makes me more than anything when I watch that show is the fact that like there's this weird Perfect Strangers Easter egg in it. Makes me happy.
I'm looking up his Wikipedia right now. I did not know he was born in St. Louis, which is where I'm from.
Oh,
Just outside. So that's an interesting little.
good old St. Louis.
You know what kills me about all these online streaming options? Netflix, Hulu, all those. It's like you can't get every show. It's like I'd love to watch Night Court on streaming, but none of them offer it.
I love Night Court.
Yeah.
I think I have that. I have a lot of the streaming sites, and I have cable, so I spend entirely too much on media.
I bought
Oh
every
yeah.
single
Oh yeah.
one
I
of
totally
them.
do too.
All right, Becca. Ian and I did a bunch of TV theme songs. You have to do Night Court.
Oh, I don't. Oh gosh, no.
Instrumental?
No.
Instrumental. Boom boom. Boom 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 boom. Ba-ding-ding. That's it.
Here, make your mouth move like that, Becca. We'll never know.
And then the yellow font pops up on the screen.
Yeah. You know, when we're all wearing masks and stuff nowadays, this would be a perfect time to start our ventriloquist bit.
Yes.
Oh yeah. All right, well we're hitting about an hour here, so probably time for us to wind down. Ian, you want to close us out with a little music before we say goodbye? Well,
Sure.
it could be a quick one. You can do a TV theme song.
Did I do this one before?
I don't know.
Thank you for being a friend.
Golden Girls.
Travel down the road and back again. The heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
If you threw a party,
invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for
Thank
being
you for
a
being
friend."
a friend.
sit, Ubu,
Becky,
sit.
I know it is. I know Night Court is on Laugh TV, but my antenna sucks.
Aw, laugh TV, more like sad TV.
Well, right now.
Hey, Jonathan, we were talking about your
Talking
play.
about you.
We were talking about your play and how good it is and how excited we are about it. Jonathan, friend of the pod, what's up? So that's it. Before we sign off, tell people where they can find you. Stephanie.
Oh, online
Yeah.
on my Facebook page. I also sing sometimes.
You have a YouTube page. You put
I
stuff on that
do.
too.
You can. I'm under Nellie Hope or Stephanie Hope. Nellie Hope was my name on the internet, when I was too nervous to put my real name on the internet.
Nellie Hope sounds like an awesome name of a companion of Doctor Who, so that's a good choice.
Right.
Yeah.
From Sweeney Todd.
Hello, I'm Nellie Hope. Becca, you got any
on
online
Facebook.
stuff you wanna shout out?
Oh,
I'm just on Facebook as Becca Easley. I do
Awesome
stuff with
director.
Green
If
Man
you want
Theater.
to reach out to her for
What?
directing, she's an awesome
What's
director, y'all.
Yeah, I'd love to do directing projects online or in person whenever that happens again. So yeah, I do stuff with Green Man. I do stuff with Echo. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, Ian, what you got?
Well, when you Google Ian Leaf, I'm usually the first person that comes up because I'm the most, socially media hooked up Ian Leaf. But there's a lot of us out there. So I don't know. It's YouTube, I'm on Facebook. If you go Facebook Ian Leith, that's my music page. And yeah, I don't really. I need to get a website.
And make sure you check out Booze Day Tuesday on Tuesdays,
every Tuesday,
and
Rock
the Hump
Live.
Day Hang as well on Wednesdays. And you can also find him here on the Echo
If
Show.
anybody's friends with Maui, look in his friends list for an Ian, and that's me.
That's right. You can find me wherever fine Mauis are sold. You can find me on Echo Theater Collective Facebook page, YouTube page. You can find me on Instagram as Mr. Maui Jones. Facebook, you can find me. I'm all over the place. Y'all know me. Y'all have a great night. I think we will be here on Wednesday, but I probably won't be hosting. I'm probably going to tap one of these fine people to host because I will be doing a storytelling event earlier that night, and I'll probably be emotionally exhausted and very teary. So you can check that out as well. Ada Chang's Am I Man Enough series, I think, or is it Pour Another One Out? She has a few different storytelling ones, but I'll make sure that we post up a link to that tomorrow if anybody's interested. The theme is lies I told my mother, so that's going to be an interesting one. And have a great night, and remember, in all things, echo love. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.